What's up, guys, and welcome back to Tony Talks, the show where Tony explores the world so you don't have to. Today we have Sydney Atkins on the show, great biologist, who's going to explain to us some things about biology. So, Sydney, tell us exactly, what you do.
So basically what I do is, let's see here, so I'm kind of a biologist, if you hadn't noticed. Most of the things I do are mostly related to cell structure and, animal genus, and possibly sometimes we might get into a little bit of the haploid and diploid cells, and I also like to get into animal genus, maybe some domains, kingdoms. I mean, just anything you can really think of that has to do with animals is what I'm a specialist in.
Yeah, and it's great you mentioned animals because today we're going to talk about plant and animal cell structures and the way that those different cell structures can affect, the buildup of the animal and why we're different from animals because of those cell structures. So, could you just tell us a little bit about that?
So what I'm going to start with here is I'm going to tell you the main differences here between plant and animal cells. First of all, the animal cell is an animal cell, comes from animals. The plant cell, it makes up plants. So, that's the main difference. I mean, that's the mushrooms. I mean, there's plants, they fall under the kingdom plant. Let's go to trees. I mean, trees have different cells than humans. But most of the time, humans and animals, that's the same cell themselves. So, let's say, you and your dog, for instance, your dog and you might actually share the same cell structure, if you know what I mean. But every once in a while, you might have the same cell structure as a plant. And I don't know, I mean, we still haven't figured out why that happens. Maybe your mom eats a lot of lettuce, I can't tell. But it just happens, I guess.
It's crazy you bring that up because, like I always say, we all came from the same stardust. So it makes sense that we have, the same structure, the same cell buildup. And there's something so metaphysically deep about that I just love. So yeah, that's great, and I hope that helps with some of those questions you guys have with the homework, because, I know it's a messy subject. So, doctor, with that in mind, how do you think we can use that knowledge to, I don't know, maybe we could, cure cancer, but I was thinking, we could use that knowledge of the cells to help us better ourselves.
Yeah, so what I always like to say is use knowledge of the cells to help us better ourselves. Basically, what we can do here is we know the main differences from the cells, but you don't know the main thing that brings them together. What's the same? The main, same. What's the same? If you know what I mean, right?
Same?
Same.
Same?
So same. What's the same about each cell? So obviously you have the Golgi apparatus. Right. The Golgi apparatus, everybody knows it is, it's the powerhouse of the cell. I mean, everybody knows that. Then you have the ribosomes. They are obviously, you get 17 of those things in each cell. I mean, I personally don't even know, what they do. They're so complex. I mean, but both the animal and the plant cells have those in there. Then if you flip to, oh wait, you don't have your study guide, actually, never mind. So we're gonna go, if you notice that most of the cells have these little squiggly things right here. I don't know what those are. Nobody knows what those things do.
Must not be important then, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly. So what we can do with these cells and what we know what they do is you can really do anything. You can cure sicknesses. You can create genetically modified foods, because if you know the cells and you combine the cells, you can really do anything.
And speaking of endless possibilities, we actually have some endless possibilities here in the questions. I have some questions from fellow students. Alright, so let's do it. So, Steve from North Dakota is wondering, what is the Golgi apparatus?
So the Golgi apparatus is basically an endothermic reaction in organisms, is basically what that is. So, it's that. I mean, it's that easy.
It's Steve, everybody knows that.
I mean, come on.
Okay, And now we have Mary from Arizona, who's asking where the macaroni elbow comes into place in that cell structure.
Yeah, so the macaroni elbow, really what that does, that kind of binds the cell together.
Right.
So, like, you would usually have maybe a cell wall, but no. A lot of cells actually have macaroni elbows that hold the entire cell together, which keep it in place.
Okay, yeah, so there you go, Mary. Keeps it in place, basically. It holds it together, like your elbow holds your body together, I guess.
I know, your elbow, honestly, if you didn't have elbows, you would be a blob. You wouldn't be able to walk.
Okay, next up we have Tyson from Wichita, Kansas. And he's wondering, is the mitochondria really the powerhouse of the cell?
Okay, so first of all, I don't really want to answer the question, because, you know, nothing good comes out of Kansas. Everything from Kansas is bad. I was raised down in Kansas City, as you know, and I can tell you firsthand, nothing there is good. Nothing. I mean, you couldn't find anything good that comes from Kansas. But I guess I'll answer your question. So basically, the powerhouse of the cell is the antibiotic drug. Yeah, so basically what that means is the ability to withstand one of the two prokaryotic domains, which is a colony of prokaryotes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, because, I mean, I don't know. It's like...
hold on, what I do want to say is, I'm sure there was a rumor going around about the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell. Who even knows what that is? Let's be honest. Tell me where it is. Where is it?
Somewhere in the cell, I guess.
No, wrong. Actually, the mitochondria doesn't exist. That was a rumor going around the internet a couple years ago about some scientist who's like, I found something that I'm gonna call mitochondria. Guess what? That was actually bacteria. Bacteria. It was in every cell. All of them.
So yeah, and that's why you don't want to spread misinformation, because it's so dangerous. Like, I honestly thought that maybe the mitochondria was the powerhouse of the cell, and that could have wrecked my life.
Yeah, I mean, that affected millions of people, maybe even half the world. I mean, scientists at my level were saying the mitochondria was the powerhouse of the cell.
Which is so scary, because imagine how society would have been if somebody hadn't figured it out.
I mean, society could have looked completely different if I hadn't figured it out. You could have had 3 arms, I mean, you could have had 2 feet. This guy who spread that lie, he should be ashamed of himself. I mean, like, that's not even part of the cell. Just stop spreading lies on the internet, people. We should be able to trust the internet more than the scientists.
Last question here, we have the effects of alcoholic fermentation. And so that's by Bryce in Newark.
Okay. So can I have that the Shel Silverstein book actually? There's a very empowering quote in here that actually sums up what alcoholic fermentation actually is. Okay. Alright, so the quote here is here we go. So, and here we see old Mr. Moody wearing such a gloomy frown, but turn him upside down and see Mr. Moody upside down. What did you expect?
Whoa. Yeah, no, that makes sense, sums up, and now I understand alcoholic fermentation. Do you? Let us know down in the comments. Bryce, I hope that answers the question. It's been a great talk, Dr. Sydney, and thank you for coming on the show. Thank you so much. Hey, you'll have to do it again sometime. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I hope you change the world someday, because here at Tony Talks, that's what we're all about. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time on Tony Talks.